All right, guys. Appreciate y'all being here. Best time of the year, meaning we get to coach football. So I thought last week talking season was over. We'll do a little bit now, and then when I say best time of the year, I genuinely mean it. We get to go coach ball. Nothing else really going on other than us, the team, and our staff. So we are gonna move in this afternoon to the Marriott out at the golf course. We got 13 days there as a team. Reasoning there is just to be able to take the guys, move them off campus, eliminate every single bit of distractions we possibly can, and we got 13 days. That's how it was presented to the team. They're excited about it. There's nothing, no girlfriends, no dogs, cats, whatever guys are into. It's truly just us for the next 13 days, which is absolutely huge for us. We need it. The time in college football is different where the guys really don't ever leave. So they're around all the time, but this is the one time where there's absolutely zero distractions. We're going to go 13 days up until school start. The way the calendar falls this year, school will actually be in session for really the last week of camp. So that'll be a little bit unique. That hasn't happened in quite a while, but we'll work through that as we get there. We've got 5 days here leading up to an off day, and then we've got a 4-day block finishing with a scrimmage, and then we've got another 4-day block leading into an off day. We've got a 2-day block, which will finish on that Saturday with a parent picnic and an alumni picnic all combined together to finish off that Saturday, which will be technically the last day of camp. That'll lead into a mock game week for us, a normal Sunday through Saturday, which will then lead into a game week, a normal Sunday through Saturday game week. So that's the next 33 days leading up to Baylor. Obviously, one day at a time, rock and roll. It'll be a heck of a journey. I'm sure you guys saw downstairs here. Once school starts, we'll move training table right into this facility with the new Pat Dye training center opening up. It's opening up. We'll be fully functional in there on the 17th of August. And a huge thank you to Jimmy Rain and his family in honoring Pat Dye by naming that training table after him. That'll be neat for our kids to be able to eat every meal here. It'll be absolutely huge. And again, grateful to Jimmy and his family for making that happen. That was a big project when we first got here that we felt like we needed. And him honoring his parents, Tony and Libba Rain, in that facility, the actual kitchen there in the back. Again, just thankful to him and really so many people that were able to help to get that done in such a quick turnaround. So with all that being said, to tell you I'm excited would be an understatement. Just beyond fired up to go to work and be on the football field again with these guys, and continue to build our identity, continue to build where we got to go here to get ready for week one and get ready for a haul of a season. From an injury standpoint, I know you guys asked a couple weeks ago where we are. I'll give you guys just an update on going in, presumably, because you guys will see it tomorrow anyways. But Corey Wells, Corey is still rehabbing an injury from high school. He's in the final stages of that. We hope to have him back before the end of camp rolling. We'll see what kind of contribution he can make this year. Will McDuffie will be available towards the end of camp, coming off of surgery this spring. C.K. Murray will be back here right in the middle of camp. He had a little touch-up deal here towards the end of summer. He's doing really well. We hope right in the middle of camp he'll be back in full go. New boy rehabbing, New Boy Fagan's rehabbing. He's day-to-day. We'll have him back here really quickly. Shamar, our new rehabbing day-to-day, should be available here within the next week as well. Devin Williams had the knee in the spring game. He'll be out for the year. And then Ty Buster had an unfortunate deal towards the end of summer, and he should be available, everything goes well, halfway through the year. So he'll be out, I would assume, the first 5 or 6 games, and hopefully have him towards the back stretch, which is unfortunate for him because he's had an incredible summer, and he is working his tail off to get back. Other than that group, we are healthy, rocking and rolling. I'll end with this. A lot of credit to Gio and his staff, and really our whole coaching staff. Again, the summer's changed so much. We're with these guys a bunch, but Gio and that staff, from his strength staff and sports science staff, have done an incredible job. I'm not big on posting pictures and body changes. I think that stuff will all come to fruition here in the fall. But man, they've had a really, really good summer. They've worked their tails off. A lot of guys have changed their bodies. This has been really, really big for us from a nutrition side, body side, and then ultimately these guys learning what elite level process looks like to get themselves ready to go into a gauntlet of a 12 game season. So really confident going into camp. It'll be fun. There'll be ups, there'll be downs. Biggest thing for us is to get out of camp, one, as a better football team, a closer team, and just as importantly, if not more important, a healthy football team going into camp. It really has become a battle of attrition, as rosters have evolved and changed and really shrunk in a lot of ways. I've said it before, but for us to have the success we need to have, we got to stay healthy. So there's a lot of sports science going into it, and then some luck, I think, in there as well. But how we manage practice, how we manage the ebbs and flows from a physicality standpoint, from a workload standpoint, will be absolutely huge. And we've got an elite team helping me with that as we move forward. So excited would be an understatement. I am like a kid on Christmas morning. Anybody sense that? Hopefully you guys have. That's how I feel right now. So thanks for interrupting, Taylor. What you got, buddy? This is how we're going to start the season off.
You, me?
I know you said 20 minutes. We got to get it in. I'm all in. Let's roll.
Go Oak, Bill, Justin Hoganson, Auburn on 3. Talk a little bit more about the camp at the resort. Is that something you've done in the past? Can you do additional things there? I know you talk about eliminate distractions. Are there additional type of team building activities you can do while you're there? Is it just strictly about the distraction part, and have you done it in the past?
Yeah, we did it all 3 years previously for me as a head coach. I think what's changed over the years in college football is, back in the day, everybody stayed in the dorm for 4 years. Everybody was together year round. Now, after their freshman year, these guys are all over the place. Some guys got apartments, condos, houses. They're living a little different than we did when we were in college. So they're just everywhere. The distractions naturally come from guys driving back and forth. There's always something. Man, I'm going to sneak an hour nap in here. Well, then I don't set my alarm. Like all of those things. We talk so much about process. We're trying to build it for them to where you wake up, get on a bus, and then you'll get back later on that in the evening. Like there is no distraction. Like once you get here, we have the luxury of having the huddle lounge down there where it's set up to where guys can nap all day. There's a recovery element in there. So there's no need to go back and forth. We'll take their car keys tonight and they won't have them. So they would have to get really, really creative. It's totally an eliminating distraction. One, teaching what waking up and what a day and a structure should look like for an elite high-level athlete would be the second component of it. In terms of anything from a team-building standpoint, we were strategic in the roommates. For the most part, it's an older guy that's played, that's done it, that's been there, has got a young guy with him so he can teach him. The other component of it is that there's 3 built-in off days in there, mandated that way, but we'll take them to Heyday one day, grab lunch together, then go to the movies. We've got some team dinners over there, but for the most part, outside of those 3 off days, they wake up, they get on the bus, they're here. they, at the end of the day, get on the bus, go back. So it's the team building, I think, happens in the fact that they're all together the entire time with absolutely nothing else pulling them from it.
Bill Cameron with the Drive on ESPN 106.7. I know you'd mentioned that Stanton is healthy, good to go. Just talk about the importance of him being able to show what he can as you try to put together. I know you need more than 5, but your starting group and guys you can count on there on the O-line.
Yeah, Stanton getting healthy, coming off of an off-season surgery and then fighting like crazy to be available in the spring. He's been really, really solid this summer. What's been cool about Stanton, you've seen as he's become more confident and ingrained into that room, you've started to see some leadership ability. You could see why he was a captain as a sophomore at the previous place. We need that in that room. We need a sense of veteranness. We need leadership, and he's done a really, really good job with that. His flexibility at tackle will be huge. Us managing him the right way will be huge. When you don't go through spring, that workload piece is different. Even though they're here all summer, it's just integrating him back into a workload. So we've got to be really smart here, especially early in camp as he factors in. But it really, really big for him, Joe on the other side, as those young tackles who we're really excited about kind of come here this camp, which as we progress him back in, we've got to get the 3 and the 4 ready too, and that's where there's going to be some moving parts. We feel really good with Wilson as a young guy that he's going to compete like crazy in there. Pritchett's competing like crazy. TJ Hedrick has some position flexibility in there to be able to help us at tackle, but a healthy Stanton would go a long way for us, and right now he feels awesome. Again, it's on us, it's on Hoodie, it's on our sports science and sports med staff to manage. We've got an elite plan. You've done this for a while too. Elite plans executed poorly or bad plans, so we've got to execute it at a high clip. But he's worked incredibly hard to get to this point where he feels healthy, he feels strong, he feels really good. And knock on wood, he stays that way through the season.
Jason Caldwell, Auburn 247. Alex, you talked about leadership, and you mentioned there, Stanton, but how important is that in camp? Because you said, look, it has to be a player-led group. How much of that develops in a preseason camp, especially from a camp atmosphere like you're trying to establish? But how important is that for these next 2 weeks to find those guys that take that ownership of a team?
Yeah, Jason, huge. That would be the piece in year one that we've tried to accelerate like crazy. Our creative team's done a good job of putting out there we are pushing like crazy to do a bunch of different things to let these guys, one, come together, but two, accelerate leadership. That's the piece that I think we're going to find out here in the next couple weeks, because in some ways we're still a young football team. And when I say young, age-wise, at times more so young in the sense of they're still trying to figure out, can I speak up? Man, can I go outside the box? We've spent so much time this spring, this summer, teaching what that looks like. But leadership is hard. Like leadership in every imaginable way is hard. It's a lonely place. You got to put yourself out there. And when you're 18 to 22 to 23 and you're still trying to figure out where you fit in the team, I think as roles get truly defined, that'll help some guys, because there's a bunch of guys we're counting on to play that hadn't played a ton, that don't super feel comfortable putting themselves out there. So there's a lot of guys leading by example right now, and as I've told these guys 100 times, leading by example is not leadership. That's just doing what you're supposed to do. And so there's a handful of guys that are confident in their ability to lead. We need more. And the hope is, as roles get defined, that guys feel more and more comfortable. I'm going to continue to empower them. Part of staying all together and being around each other all day, that'll help define it. And honestly, as we've talked about, Jason, in the past, is like hard things make people either rise to the occasion or they make people crumble. And so we still need hard, really hard. And we're going to create tough situations. Our players need it. our coaches need it too. Now we're at a point at this point now is like, man, you got to react. You got to be able to adjust to situations. Guys will get banged up. Like, who's next? How ready are we? How much depth do we have? How do we respond to that as coaches? So just like our players need it, our coaches need it too, and we're going to create some of that. Some of that will naturally happen.
Peter Atticus from AL.com. You mentioned during spring about Elijah Melendez being somebody that, you wanted to see become a leader. What have you seen from him, I guess, both from that standpoint and a physical standpoint this offseason, and where is he now compared to, say, when you first got here?
Yeah, Elijah, he's the perfect example of what I was just talking about. Elijah played right around 250 snaps a year ago, wasn't an every down starter, and he's worked himself into that physically, mentally. He's earned the respect of his teammates. Now this next step for him is actually putting himself out there. And again, leadership is not breaking down a huddle. Leadership is when nobody's around, can I put myself out there and hold people to a standard that naturally they don't want to be held to. He's got to grow in that regard. And I think as he plays more and more and has success on the field, he'll continue to do so. He would tell you when you meet with him that he's sick of me talking to him about it, because I do think he has that ability. But again, until you've proven it on the field, I think sometimes it's hard at that age to just put yourself out there. So he's got to continue to grow. He's had an incredible summer. He physically has continued to change his body. There's some freakish things in there, like I could work as hard as he could. I probably wouldn't look like that. Although maybe I can try. But he's done a really, really high-end job of getting his body right, his process right. The last step for him is putting it on the field and then having the leadership element mesh with it. You want him, Xavier, Bryce, Riddick, like that crew to lead in every imaginable way. It's got to come from the middle of your defense. You're communicating, the guys in front of you, the guys in the back end, everything goes through you. So naturally there has to be some leadership in there. We're going to keep force feeding him. And Dirk's done a good job. Coach Wilson's done a good job. We got to continue to force feed Elijah. He's got it in him. He's just got to get comfortable. It's uncomfortable. It's hard.
Justin Ferguson, Auburn Observer. A couple weeks ago in Tampa, you told us you want like 6, maybe 7 or 8 receivers you can trust this season. I was curious, what's your approach to that, like numbers-wise, for a running back? Obviously, y'all have a lot of depth there and a lot of guys who've played before. Just kind of how, as much as y'all like to run the ball, how many running backs do you want to use this season?
Yeah, great question. I think in the perfect world, I've always told our offensive staff, you need 3.5 ready to go into a game. Meaning, naturally, those guys take a good beating. Like, you got to go into the season with 5. And then as guys get banged up, you want to have 3.5. I say 3.5. We've always looked at it as 2 guys that truly rotate drive to drive, and then a third guy that's ready to sub in at any point. That competition is going to be fascinating in camp. Like, as we went through the depth yesterday, there's, I'll give Omar a lot of credit. Omar Mapson's a young guy that played a little bit as a freshman, really as a 17-year-old freshman, a kid that reclassed. I have to keep reminding myself that he just turned 18 years old, which is crazy. You talk about a guy that this place means something to, and he shows up and works that way every day. Like, that's a guy that we came into spring and really didn't know much about other than the little bit of film you saw from a year ago. And, like, he doesn't say a whole lot, but he's on a mission to win a job. And he has pushed others in that room to either get on his level or they're going to struggle. So, like, that there's a guy that I don't know that I knew a ton going in, and to his credit, he just keeps showing us why he should play. And then you got a guy in Cobb that's played a bunch. You got a guy in Bryson that's played a bunch, just not here. And then you've got Nikai Davenport who's played a bunch, again, not here. And you got Tay Meadows who's played a bunch, not here. And then you got Alvin and the rest of that crew that's trying to figure it out. We're going to rep 5 to 6 guys here early in camp, and then as we get closer to the season, whoever the 1 and the 2 are will start to peel back a little bit just purely from a health standpoint and let some other guys get in the rotation. But that competition will be interesting. Like 1 through 5 will be fascinating because Bryson didn't go through much of spring. So how he goes through fall camp will be huge. Where does he fit? Cobb's going to keep getting pushed. He's had a phenomenal summer. I should give him his flowers. He's gained a bunch of weight. He's changed his body. I think him carrying the ball 200 with receptions, 200 whatever times a year ago, I think he figured out, like, man, this body, like, it to sustain that for another year, I better put some weight on, some bulk. He's done a really good job. He's bought in nutritionally. He's bought in from a weight room standpoint. So that I'm kind of all over the place because in my mind, I'm a little bit all over the place on that room because as much as there's depth, that position gets beat up so quickly, you need all of it. And that's why I say if you can have 3.5 going into a game, you'd feel really good. How they sort themselves out will be really interesting. And it's not just running the ball. We've asked those guys to catch the ball, not just out of the backfield, but in space. They're so involved in the screen game. And then the protection part. Anybody that's been around Larry Porter, like, the protection piece ain't 100% right, there's hats flying, there's billboards or clipboards flying. Like, the protection side is critical as well. So you need 3.5, 4 guys that are complete backs, ready to roll. And I do think there's enough depth in there for us to have an elite run game behind those guys. The quarterback's a good ball carrier too, so it should add up.
Hey, Coach, Maya Kitchens with WSFA. Just wanted to ask you, what are those biggest points you guys are tackling heading into fall camp?
Yeah, Maya, I think we kind of hit on it. The coming together of this team from a big picture standpoint. Again, how the summer has changed, the scheme part, for the most part, is in. So in terms of plays in, formations in, both sides of the ball in. Huge on the special team side of ironing that out in the sense of creating true depth charts. And then more than anything else now, situational football. We're going to get into situational football the second we put shoulder pads on and we can actually hit a little bit. But truly from a coaching standpoint and a player standpoint is how do we control, we talk about winning in the margins, like the situational football piece. You're so much further ahead from just the schematic standpoint than you used to be, but the handling of the situational football will be absolutely huge for us. So coming together, situational football, and then I know I've said it to nauseum at this point, but continuing to build this identity and holding this program to a standard of what real identity looks like, and then continuously pointing to that ain't the way it is, and demanding that it is, or when it is, reaffirming that, hey, man, this is the standard. This is what we should look like here at Auburn. It's this constant ebbs and flows that go through fall camp, but all of it coming together will determine the outcome of the season. So I'd say a lot of different things coming together. Ultimately, if we're a connected football team that has an identity, we'll be in a good spot.
Coach, I know the NCAA's appealed this, but there has been a ruling that's freed up 2022 graduates to possibly join teams, get an extra year of eligibility. Is that anything your staff is exploring as far as adding a player to your roster?
Yeah, we've got a little bit of room. It's been such a funky deal that came out Friday night. Like, we're all starting to get used to just court rulings dropping on Friday nights. And so then our whole recruiting staff is calling, and then there's clarity on it on Sunday. And so there's still a bunch of clarity that's got to come of that. Ultimately, we've got a little bit of room. We're open and kind of working through it. This is kind of a crazy time to just add somebody. But if it's somebody especially at a position of need that can help, it's a really limited number, and how they've clarified it as of yesterday, it's a really limited number of guys. So potentially, I'm leaving the door open. We're working through a little bit of it. if it's the right fit, I certainly wouldn't be opposed to it.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. War Eagle.